Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's topic I want to talk about is something I think that really needs to be talked about because people have this perception with tarot readers, and it's a completely valid perception because this is something that I've had for a while before I started reading tarot, is that tarot readers give bad predictions or negative predictions. Now that might be true for some tarot readers, that if you go to them, you get a reading done, they're going to say, oh, in 2 weeks, something really bad is going to happen. To me, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think tarot readers should be doing that. That's my personal opinion. I don't do that because the last thing that I feel like we should be doing as spiritual teachers is installing fear in other people. Now you might be thinking, well, of course bad things are going to happen. It's life. It goes up and it goes down. And that's true. And I think what's important is for the tarot reader to really bring light to certain energies that are holding people back. And that's why I think it's really important for people to focus on the current energy. But before we dive into that, I just want to say welcome. My name's Megan, and if you're new to the channel, I do a lot of videos on spiritual content, and I have a ton of pick a card readings to help guide you on your path, hopefully bring you some inspiration, clarity, and guidance. Okay, so I know every tarot reader is different. I can't speak for us all, and we all have such a different, unique process. And I don't think that necessarily giving somebody a more negative prediction is always bad. Maybe there could be a time and a place for it. I haven't found that yet in any of my readings. Sometimes, however, I will have a client that's already going through a lot of hardships, and sometimes I do continue to see hardships for them for the next couple months. But it's not like, oh, all this bad stuff's going to happen, because I see it as a beautiful opportunity for growth. I see a lot of learning, a lot of clearing, and a lot of good coming in because of it. So I'm going to kind of walk you through my process as a tarot reader, how I read cards, and hopefully that'll help some of you, because I wish somebody would have made a video like this, because I was kind of terrified to book a session with a tarot reader, because I thought, what if they say something bad? What if something bad's coming? What if I'm going in the wrong direction? Like, you don't want to hear that, right? So I think it's important, at least I found it really beneficial, to keep things very positive. And any darker energies that are in somebody's field, I like to pull out what's happening in the present moment. So when I start a session, what I do is I pull cards for their current energy. Okay, I think it's important to get really centered and grounded and be in the present moment to get started. And sometimes some bad or negative or darker tarot cards will come out because the tarot deck has a lot of different energies in there, and they're not all rainbows and sunshine. So I'll show you a little bit of what I'm talking about if you're not super familiar with tarot. We have the Ten of Swords. Does not look like a happy card. We have the Devil, okay? The Tower, which is about destruction, but this is actually one of my favorite cards in the tarot deck. We have Death, which it doesn't mean physical death, at least it's never come up in my readings like that. It usually means death of an old energy that's not serving you, death of a belief pattern. The Nine of Swords, this can talk about depression, anxiety, and Three of Swords. And this generally talks about heartbreaks. But all these cards have various different meanings. So when I do a tarot reading, I think it's important to look at our life as cycles, right? We go through certain cycles, just circle after circle after circle. And there's ways to break out of our cycles, right? So if we're in a cycle, say for example, a relationship where we keep attracting the same kind of guy or girl, and they're all the same, and we're just getting heartbroken and it's not working out, right? Or maybe you're always attracting the same type of job, you're not getting paid enough, you're not really feeling fulfilled, or your work partnerships aren't fulfilling, there's drama in the workplace. I mean, you can apply this to any situation. Or maybe you have a certain diet and you eat a certain way, and maybe it's not very healthy, right? So you keep attracting health problems, or you gain weight from it. So we're in these cycles, right? And to change a cycle, to break free from a cycle, there's a couple things that you can do, right? You can change your daily habits, or you can change your perceptions and beliefs. So any darker energies that you're attracting in your future, anything negative coming to you, is something that's already in your energetic field. It's already in your cycle. It's part of a cycle, I should say. So when I give a reading, I like to highlight what's already in your current energy. And when I do this, people are like, oh yeah, that's right, that's how I feel. Like, yes, I'm anxious, or yes, I'm, lost and confused, or I'm depressed, or, I don't feel good physically, they know. And, it's just kind of confirmation, like, okay, yeah, that's coming through in the tarot. Let's look at that. Then I like to pull more cards. Let's see if it goes to the past. Maybe this is a habit you picked up from your mother or father. Maybe this is a habit you developed recently. Or maybe this is just how you perceive the world. This is how you view the world. You view the world in a certain way. So, like, for instance, if you're attracting the same kind of guy, I'll just use a guy as an example, right? You're a girl, or you could be a guy, it doesn't matter. You're attracting a guy in your life. You keep attracting players. You keep attracting guys that won't give you the time of day, that won't text you back, right? So let's talk about your perception. How do you view men? I know when I was attracting men like that in my life, I viewed men rather poorly, and I also didn't have much self-worth. So I wasn't loving myself. I didn't believe there were many good men out there. I believed that they were very hard to find, and that they were just a dime a dozen. Is that the right expression? I don't know. A needle in a haystack. How's that? So what I realized is that I had to change my view on men. I had to change how I felt about myself. So that dealt with my beliefs, that dealt with my perceptions. And then I started involving healthier habits into my life to break free from this cycle, right? I started taking care of myself with high vibrational food. I started meditating. I started going to yoga. I had quit jobs that I thought were going to be my career because I was afraid. I guess I would say, like, I was afraid to leave because I thought I would be making a big mistake, but I knew I had to leave to have a life because I was working 1,000,000 hours a week. Anyways, so I had to change my job. I had to change my job, my habits, and the way I viewed myself, the way I viewed others. And once I did that, which takes time, you don't just break a cycle like that, especially if you've been in the cycle for a very long time. Once you do that, you start to attract better men into your life, or you attract better jobs, or you attract more money, whatever you want to attract. So what I love about tarot is that I love having the cards as a visual, because when I pull cards for myself even, or somebody else, it's like seeing my thoughts and my emotions out on paper. It helps clarify what's going on within my body, and it helps organize my thoughts. So basically, when I'm pulling cards for you, even when I do my pick of cards, I'm seeing your thoughts, I'm seeing what you're feeling, and I'm seeing the cycles, right? And I'm seeing a way of breaking it. So sometimes things from the past will come through, sometimes it's more about the present reality, and then sometimes certain things will come in the future. Sometimes relationships come through, and I can see that coming, or new jobs or new opportunities. Sometimes I see more clearing coming through. Clearing can be rough, but clearing is part of the spiritual journey. It's part of the process. And when I say clearing, I mean letting go of old beliefs, old perceptions, old habits that aren't serving you, and bringing in new energy, new positive energy to attract a better future. Because when we start manifesting, you guys, when we start trying to bring a lot of stuff in, this is what I realized. Because when you manifest a lot, like say you're trying to manifest a new job, you're trying to manifest a new home, you're trying to manifest a new relationship, you're trying to manifest more money, I feel like those are the most common. Maybe health, right? Better health. The universe goes, okay, well, you got to get rid of all this other stuff. Like, so it kind of gets crazy. So now when I manifest, I do manifest more than one thing at a time, but I try not to manifest too many things at a time, because I know if I go too hard and I try to ask for too many things at once, it gets kind of scary. Honestly, it gets a little intense, because these beliefs and these emotions you held on for so long, you have to let go of. Right? I believed that it was hard to make money for a very long time. I believed that I wasn't worthy of love. I believed that I wasn't very smart. I believed so many destructive thoughts about myself, about the world. I saw the world as a scary place. I had bad habits growing up. I mean, I didn't eat clean until I really got into my late 20s. I used to drink a lot of alcohol. I went through a period of my life when I did drugs. I had to break a lot of habits. I had to really clean up my act, and when I started to clean things up, started to take care of myself, things change, your reality shifts, and it's like, it's a lot. It's a lot. We're gentle human beings. We need to nurture ourselves. But anyways, now I'm going off on a tangent. The point is, I think it's important. I just think it's not a good idea if a tarot reader says, oh, in 2 weeks, something really bad's going to happen. I don't know what it is, but like, watch out, like, be warned. then you're leaving the reading in a state of fear, right? You're constantly like, oh, when's it going to happen? When is this going to happen? And I just don't see how that could be hopeful. And some of you might be going, well, it's good to have a heads up. Like, it's good to have a heads up if something, but we're all creators of our own reality. You're all creators of your own reality. And you can create whatever future you want. So if someone tells you, oh, like, this bad thing's going to happen, then you have the power to change it. So when I read tarot, I like to say, this is the energy that's blocking you, that's negative, that's lower vibration, that's already in your field. Yeah, it might attract more negativity, but let's stop it now. Let's put disruptions in that belief system. Let's change it. Let's open your mind. Let's perceive this in a different way. Let's bring in a habit, maybe some mantras, some meditation, some new energies to help these new beliefs, these new perceptions stick in your mind. And that to me is way more powerful. I mean, I still have a lot to learn on my journey. I still have a lot to learn with tarot. I love tarot. This has been such a blessing being able to do this and being able to read for all of you that come to my channel and check me out. It's awesome. I still have a lot to learn though, so if you guys have a different opinion on this, if you see it in a different light, I'm always looking for different ways to view the world. I'm always looking for ways to shift my perception, or not just shift it, but open it up, right? Because the way we perceive life, the way we look at it with our habits and our beliefs and our perceptions, none of it's wrong. Like, I would never say, oh, that's not the right way to think. I would say, here's another way to think. Let's open your mind. Yeah, sometimes you could say it's shifting into a more positive direction, but it's almost like opening up. Like, yes, that's one way to see the world. Here's another way to see the world. When you start to look at different ways of seeing the world, you really open your mind to not just the ability or the being able to heal yourself, but you open your mind to understanding more people. You open your mind to more compassion, more clarity, and connection. So let's do a little collective reading right now, just to give you guys an example of what I'm talking about, okay? Okay, so for instance, when I'm reading these cards right now, the Strength card came up in reverse. And reversals, basically, they can mean the opposite of the card, but not always. So somebody might see that, though, and say, like, oh, you know, this is the Strength card, but it's in reverse. That means you're not strong. But that's not what I get from this card, right? I get that you don't know your own strength. A lot of you watching, you might not know how strong you are. You might not give yourself enough credit. You might be too hard on yourself. And I feel like a lot of you that I'm connected with on my channel, I feel like you are so strong. You're warriors, and you've been through a lot. And I know this because I've been through a lot. And I now that I'm so open and vulnerable here on my channel, you attract similar people to your own energy. So I know a lot of you that have come to my channel, you've been through it. And so the Strength card to me is kind of saying, you know, you don't completely, maybe you have a hard time. Maybe I don't feel like this is every day. I feel like maybe you have certain days where you just don't feel strong, you feel weak, you feel like giving up, you feel like you don't have enough support in your life. So then I would say, okay, how do we shift this? How do we feel stronger in our energy, right? Because working that muscle, that solar plexus chakra where our confidence resides and our self-worth, that takes practice. It takes repetition. It's building that spiritual muscle, that spiritual six-pack, I like to call it. So how do we break this cycle? How do we feel more confident in ourselves? How do we feel stronger in our energy? Well, there's a couple things. You know, we can start a new creative project, start showing our creations to the world, start a social media platform, showing your art, showing your passion, starting to help people, right? Because we have the Ace of Wands. This came up in reverse. The Ace of Wands talks about a new creative endeavor. That's what I see when I see this. So when it's in the reverse, it's like this is trying to come through. For a lot of you, I see, and some of my clients that I work with, it's amazing to see you starting to share so much. Like, you guys are smart. Like, everybody that I've worked with has so much potential, so much strength that they don't realize it. And I can see it. Like, I see it and I love it and I get excited because I know I was in your shoes. I was in your shoes, and I know what it's like to not feel like you have enough to share, you have enough information to help people, but you do. Trust me. Even if you're not healed yet, you're never going to get completely healed. And that's not to be a Debbie Downer. It's just life. There's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be something. And you're never going to know exactly what to do to help somebody. You're always just going to be less wrong than you were the day before. And that's what I am. I'm not right. I'm less wrong than I was yesterday. Okay? And I live by those words because I think that's really important. But anyways, back to the Ace of Wands. So this is this kind of energy that's trying to come through. When you allow it, you're going to strengthen yourself, right? And then we have the Son of Wands in reverse. And when I saw this energy, I immediately got the feeling of when people judge you or people look down upon you. I think some of you are afraid maybe to share your talents or your gifts or information that you've learned because you're afraid of judgment. We have the judgment here, okay? Some of you are afraid of judgment. And I get it. I get it. But to heal our self-empowerment, to heal our self-worth, our solar plexus chakra, I talk about this a lot, you guys. To heal it, you gotta do things that scare you. You gotta get uncomfortable. You gotta feel like so uncomfortable that sometimes you get a little nauseous. You get those butterflies in your stomach because that's moving that energy out and through, right? And what better to do than to face your fears, to learn how to not care what people think of you, to care, not to care, oh, these people are gonna think that I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm not healed yet. They're going to think I don't know what I'm talking about because I sound a little nervous when I talk. It doesn't matter, you guys. I love seeing people like first starting out and putting their content out there and acting nervous and sweat a little bit. I think it's powerful because it shows how they're being fearless. They're afraid and they're doing it anyways, and I think that is so amazing. I get inspired. I get excited. So there are going to be people that see you all nervous, making a video or posting your art or writing a book or whatever it is you want to do to help the planet, because I feel like most of you watching do want to help the planet. Whatever you're going to do, you're a little nervous, you do it, people are going to love it. People are going to love it. And the people that don't love it are not the people that you want in your life. They're just not. They're not. Maybe some of them will come around in time. Those are the people you want in your tribe, and those are the people you want in your energy anyways. And when you do this, you guys, when you start to show your authentic self, I love how this turned into like a bad negative predictions into like self-empowerment rant, but I'm going to go with it. Once you guys start to really show your authenticity and start to help the planet and start to do what feeds your soul, even if you don't know exactly what it is, just start somewhere, literally start anywhere. That's when you'll attract people that are like you. That's when you'll attract the connections that you really crave. Trust me, I know. As soon as I started getting all vulnerable and sharing my information, that's when I started making connections, and people would reach out to me, and I'd meet people online or even in person, and I'm like, oh, you get it. Yeah, this is awesome. And you meet people that are supportive and encouraging and light you up and don't cause drama, and it's just freaking amazing. So I love this message for you guys. And what's awesome too is these two cards came out too. I got to talk about these two cards real quick. No, Nine of Cups and Son of Pentacles. So Nine of Cups is emotional fulfillment on all levels, okay? This is happiness, this is joy, this is fulfillment. Son of Pentacles, this can be slow moving energy. Most of the time I see this, so it's like a slow process. This is a slow process. It takes time. Part of the process is learning all the patience in your healing, in your journey, right? To get to this emotional fulfillment. But you are getting there. I feel like a lot of you have come really far already on your journey, and I think it's so beautiful and amazing. But all of you that are watching, I am without a doubt, I have full confidence within my gut that you are going to get to where you want, and you're going to be able to manifest everything you want in your life, okay? Just have faith, surrender, enjoy the process when you can, and share, guys, because I know there's so much creative energy just wanting to burst out of each and every one of you. I hope you liked this video. This was really fun and big. Let me know what you think. Put your comments down below. Share your thoughts, share your opinions, share whatever. Say hi. I'm excited to keep bringing more content to all of you. I do have a lot of free content on my Instagram page if you guys want to follow me there. And then I am open for sessions, so all that information's down below. I'll see you guys next time.